My 18 male parents planned on being a child-free couple, but they kept me, even if I was an unwanted child because of religious beliefs. I don't remember when exactly I was told, but I always knew that I would be expected to move out as soon as I reached 18. I've been working and saving since I was 13 and have a respectable amount in a savings account. To be fair to my parents, they provided for me financially. They were distant emotionally, but they have never been bad. A week before my 18th birthday, they sat me down and asked if I had found a place to move into yet. I said yes, and that was the extent of the conversation. I planned to live in an apartment with 4 other guys, but a friend's family heard about it and offered me their finished basement with separate access for a very low price. Parents haven't contacted me since, although I admit I did not reach out to them too. Yesterday, my dad called to invite me to dinner. It was awkward already, but then they asked me to move back in or anything. But here's the thing. I like my new living situation. It lacks the awkwardness and tension that I didn't even know was there until I moved out. When I said no politely at that and thanking them for the offer, my mother started crying and left the room, while my dad started scolding me and saying that their friends were excluding them because of the rumor that they threw me out and another family had to take me in. I said that that was exactly what happened, and it isn't my job to save them from the consequences of their actions and decisions. Now my extended family calls me nonstop and says I'm being an idiot. So, am I? Not the idiot. They don't want you back. They want their reputation and social life back. Your parents are cold, mean people, so don't go back for anything. Hopefully, this other family welcomes you and treats you as one of their own. I'm sorry. You deserve a lot better than you've been treated so far. Me thinks the mom was crying, not out of love or guilt, but because she tarnished her own reputation and is now embarrassed. OP, you deserve so much better. I wanted to say that your parents were bad to you. Being emotionally cold and distant is a real form of mistreatment. Also, you said the other family took you in out of pity, but maybe they took you in out of love. Perhaps they didn't just feel sorry for you. Maybe they think you're great and they want you around. His parents only want him back to dispel the true rumors and restore their social status. As soon as that is accomplished, they'll be asking OP to pack his bags and get out. Why in the world would OP do this favor, screw up his life to repair his folks' reputation for his parents when they've never cared for him in his life? Not the idiot. I had the exact same thing happen to me as a teenager. My brother and I got a 6-hour warning that we were to be out of the house by that evening, and any belongings we left would be sold or thrown out immediately. We were desperate for help, so I posted on Facebook, back when everyone was on there, asking if anyone had a truck we could use and why we needed it so badly on such short notice. One of my cousins saw the post, and it eventually got back to my grandmother. She called me screaming and raging that I would be so cruel as to ruin my father's reputation as a good father. If he wanted to be seen as a good father, maybe he shouldn't have made 2 of his children, including one with significant disabilities, homeless with no warning. OP, you are facing the consequences of their actions. Do not move back in. It may be hard at the moment, but you've just begun a new and much happier chapter of your life. Stay strong. I have a boss who I'm going to call Adam. He is an okay boss, but I really look up to him for what he has done career-wise. He is a totally self-made, brilliant guy, and he has praised me before at work. My job does involve some level of networking, but Adam is pretty cold and standoffish, so there weren't many opportunities to impress him. Adam has been dating Leah for 1.5 years, and I've met her a couple of times. She's kind of low-key awful, but Adam is obsessed with her. I've worked for this man for years and never seen him smile. I don't care too much about his personal life, but I'm happy he met Leah because he no longer works 12-hour days, which means fewer emails for me. He even takes time off now and is sometimes in a good mood, so major personality shift. Leah was mean to my wife at a wedding. From what I understand, my wife made one small comment to someone about Leah, and it got back to Leah, who took some digs at my wife's appearance and made some judgments about her character. My wife is very insecure about some things Leah touched on and was upset. I told my wife that she didn't have to be around Leah again. Anyway, we had a date night over the weekend. We have 3 young kids, and my wife is a stay-at-home mom, so she looks forward to date night. So we went to the movies, and Adam and Leah were there. Leah was literally wearing what I think were pajamas and a sweatshirt. I did roll my eyes a bit because she called my wife frumpy, but it's pretty clear that Leah thinks she's hot stuff and can do what she wants and wear what she wants. I was buying tickets, and my wife went over towards where they were, and I didn't see this, but I guess she took a picture of Leah. She admits it. The issue is she forgot she had her flash set at default because we had an outdoor Christmas thing with our kids the night before. So Leah saw the flash go off. Leah wasn't too upset and laughed, but Adam gave me a bad look. My wife tried to deny it and then admitted she would show her friend Leah's outfit. Leah was smirking, and I just had a bad feeling. Adam tried to brush it off, and when they left, I demanded to know how she could do that. I did raise my voice, but not quite yelling, and kept asking how she could do something that dumb and high schoolish, and she doesn't get how that makes me look at work. I really wasn't in the mood for dinner after the movie, and she sensed that, so we ended up going home early. She cried when we got home and said I was too hard on her and put Adam before her. I did apologize, but things are still a bit tense. Am I the idiot here? Not the idiot. You weren't putting Adam before her. You were putting your professional reputation before her immaturity. Whether the comment was small or otherwise, it sounds like your wife started it. It's a playground. She needs to work on herself. Not the idiot, but your wife is. Leah was only mean to your wife at a wedding because your wife, unprompted, made comments about Leah's appearance to others, which got back to Leah. Gross. And your wife is so petty and gross that she decided to take photos of someone to bash on some social media platform? Probably. And she's not even smart enough to make sure the flash is off. OP, your wife did something rude and intrusive, then tried to lie about it before admitting she planned to do something most people have grown out of by middle school. Then she used crocodile tears to manipulate you into feeling guilty for calling her out on something she absolutely deserved to get called out on. Honestly, I'd retract your apology and tell her you won't be doing any more date nights until she calls Leah and apologizes to her. So my boyfriend, 26, and I, 27 female, have been together for 2 years and moved in together about 2 months ago. When we first started talking about moving in together, I was in a very tough professional situation, having only a part-time job. Because of this, I told him that since I would be half employed, I didn't mind if we didn't share the housework equally, as I'd be home more, and it would be my way of contributing to our household, as he would be contributing more financially. He said he didn't want that, and thought we should contribute equally to the housework. However, I told him I really preferred it that way. Flash forward to when we actually moved in together. By this time, I had found not 1, but 2 other jobs and was working 35 to 45 hours a week, as I have a fixed schedule at my main part-time job, but not at the others. So when we sat down to divide up our housework, I said that since we were both working full-time, I thought we should do things 50-50, and then if one of us had more free time, we would just cover the other's chores. He agreed, and this was all good. But in theory only, because after we moved in together and he stopped having to make time to see me after work, he started working 50 to 60 hours every week. He loves his job. He makes a lot of money, like more than double what I make, and cannot enforce boundaries, hence the number of hours worked. Therefore, none of his chores would get done, and he would ask me to pick up most of them because I was working fewer hours than him that week. The thing is that no matter how many hours I worked, it was always fewer hours than him, and it was leaving me really drained to do all of the work at home while also having a full-time job. So I finally told him that he would either have to manage his time better or start working fewer hours because I'm not going to be picking up all of the housework. And that's when the fight started, because he says he makes way more money than me and can't just stop working. The money he makes is for 40 hours a week, not 50 or 60. His extra time is unpaid, and that I have more free time. The problem is that I'm in healthcare. He's in IT. He will forever be making much more money than me, but I still work a full-time job and still need rest. So I flat out told him that I would just not do his housework, and he said that I was being unreasonable, especially because the only reason we can afford our lifestyle is because of what he makes. We both contribute the same percent of our income, but he ends up contributing with a lot more. In the heat of the moment, I thought he was being unreasonable because it's not my fault his industry pays more than mine. And at one point, he agreed we should share equally. But then I started feeling bad because I should really be helping out more since he works more. Was I the idiot in refusing? Not the idiot. If you both agree that you're contributing appropriately to the relationship/your lives, then the discussion is about how to get his share of the work done. I.e., if he's working all the time and doesn't feel like he has the time to do chores, hire housekeeping to do it. That's what people do who work a lot and still want free time. Agree. If he can't do his chores, he should hire a maid instead of expecting you to do 100% of them while working full-time. Why is he doing so many unpaid hours anyway? He's getting paid for 40. That's what he should be doing. It sounds like he's putting himself in this situation. It sounds like this might be more than just cleaning. If that's the case, you may want to have a frank conversation about how you fit into his life. He's not considering your needs at all in this and putting his job first. I thought we should do things 50-50, and then if one of us had more free time, we would just cover the other's chores. According to your own agreement, you have more time, so you should cover his chores. He's also paying for a majority of the bills based on his income, and that income requires he works more hours. You are the idiot for thinking the housework should be 50-50 when the bills are not, but there's a solution that doesn't involve you doing everything. My boyfriend and I have been dating for some time now, and we're getting to the next stage of our relationship: house, marriage, kids, etc. He makes way more money than me and works fewer hours than I do. I work twice as hard as he does to make 3 times less. We currently split all financial obligations 50-50, rent, bills, groceries, etc. He does pay for more going out meals than I do, but I would say that it's 60-40. When discussing house budgets, he started with a number that I cannot afford half of. He then compromised and lowered slightly, but still not a number I was comfortable with. When I explained to him I think we should start small and we can always upgrade or renovate our home, he said no, that he wouldn't be happy unless we started his budget. He then said that he would pay the difference of whatever my 50% budget was, and that I just needed to sign something saying I only own said percentage of the house, which would come to about 33%. I told him I didn't agree with this since I don't think this is fair. We should agree on a budget together for our future home. He said regardless, my equity is the same, so why does it matter? I should be happy he's willing to pay more and put us in a nicer home. He doesn't understand why I'm so bothered by this, and I keep explaining to him it's not how I pictured buying a home with my future husband to be. I want harmony in our home, and I want to know that we did it together and based on love. I keep telling him this is where we will raise our family, and I don't want it to feel like I'm only worth 33%. I thought that we would be going into this as a team, and I can't help but feel like he just wants a business partner and not a wife. I have always taken care of 100% of all house chores, laundry, cooking, cleaning, etc. Since his proposal, I have suggested that we split everything 50-50 to make things fair. I said he should clean after I cook, and that he should do his own laundry now, and also help clean when I clean. He does not agree and thinks I'm just petty now because I didn't get my way with the house. I feel like he doesn't value the work that I do, and he feels like I'm being unfair and not letting him protect what is rightfully his money. I don't want his money. I just want to know he cares about something more than his money. Am I the idiot for wanting to stop catering to him now? Not the idiot. And don't marry or have kids with this guy. He wants everything to be equal when it means him keeping money for himself, but not when it comes to contributing to the household. He's not approaching your marriage as a team. Your finances once married should be for both of you and your shared life together. He's selfish. He works fewer hours than you and you still do all the chores? Stop this relationship. He sees you as less than, and will continue this circus if you have children. You should do more work at home since I pay a bigger portion of the house. You should stop arguing with me since I pay more. It'll go down to, you should keep working a lot more while I use your free labor at home because I can manipulate you with crappy power dynamics. Run. This is not improving. No matter how he may say his arguments are logical and objective, they are not. Run. Yikes. Here's my initial view. Let's say you get married. You have kids. You end up being a stay-at-home mom because it's needed. What then? Do you lose interest in the house because you're no longer contributing financially? Don't sell yourself short, and don't saddle yourself with someone who will strip you dry because you're not making money, and then maybe leave you at some point with nothing. A partnership builds value for both members, not just the one with their name on the paycheck. My son graduated in 2010, and my husband and I offered to pay for college for him, and he said no. He wanted to start working. He wanted the money we would have used for college in cash, and we told him no, that we wouldn't be giving him money directly, only if he wanted more education. He eventually gave up, and we agreed to provide him with my used Corolla and $5,000 to get started. My daughter graduated in 2013, took up our offer of college, and graduated in 2017 with a degree in mathematics. We paid off the house with the money we would have spent on our son, and due to both my husband and I having some chronic conditions that would make us susceptible to getting sick, we retired early. My son now comes back and wants to go to college, which we support, but he asked us to pay for college. We told him we were retired and provisioned enough money for us to live off of, but not for us to pay for his college. He has $8,000 saved up, which would be enough for a semester, and then he would have to pay out of pocket. He thinks we're playing favorites because we paid around $50,000 for my daughter's schooling and gave him a car and $5,000, which is probably $15,000 total. So he's basically demanding we pay the difference, or we won't be invited to his wedding, or be allowed to see his children. I told him threatening us is not going to make that money come back, and we offered it to him when he graduated, but he said the money shouldn't have a time limit, and he's owed whatever we paid to our daughter. Otherwise, it's favoritism. So, am I the idiot for not paying for his schooling after I agreed to pay for it in the past? You know, first I thought maybe you were wrong, but then I thought, wait a minute, he graduated 12 years ago, and now he wants to go to college? Did he think that money was just going to sit around forever? You are not the idiot. He had his opportunity and he didn't take it. He can't expect his retired parents, who are in less than perfect health, to foot his college costs 12 years later. That's not entirely true. They could have given him the college fund they set aside for him, instead of settling on a used car and $5,000. OP says clearly that they spent the rest of that money paying for their house. OP could take out a reverse mortgage on their house to pay for their son's college, and that would restore the financial balance between the siblings. You are the idiot, OP. You saved money for each kid, and only gave it to the one who did what you wanted. OMG, OP, your son is a grown man. If he doesn't respect your right to maintain your finances now that you're retired, let him go. He does not respect you. He thinks that you owe him something, and he would rather you and your husband risk your health and future stability so that he can win. He has shown you who he is. Do not reward his toxic behavior. My parents are retired, and I would never ask them to compromise their future in a million years. All I want to do is love them and make sure that they're happy.